Welcome to another edition of Eric's Storytime. Halloween's almost upon us, so I've got another monster tale for you. This one is from October of 1960, from the comic Tales to Astonish, number 12. The story is called I Discovered Gorgilla. Tales to Astonish, number 12. Here comes Gorgilla. Look, it isn't just a hole in the dirt. Heaven help us, it's a giant footprint. He's seen us, up there. It's Gorgilla! Gorgilla, the monster of Midnight Mountain, lives. I discovered Gorgilla, the monster of Midnight Mountain. His body is monstrous, but his brain is almost human. We'll never defeat him, never. Head for the caves, it's our only chance to escape. We should have listened to the natives. They warned us. They said, we're no match for Gorgilla. For years I had been studying ancient papers and manuscripts, seeking a clue to the greatest mystery of mankind, the origin of the missing link. What is it, dear? What have you unearthed? I figured out the last place he lived. It's Borneo. I've got to go there, Anne. I've got to bring back his remains. It will be the greatest find of the century. Half an hour later, I was on my way to the museum. For centuries, men have sought the missing link, but no one has ever found him. I can still remember the lectures in college. We men can trace our ancestry all the way back to prehistoric man, but after that, gentlemen, we run into trouble. We think prehistoric man evolved from the apes, but if this is so, there must have been another creature, one to bridge the wide gap between man and ape. There must have been a life form that was half man and half ape. However, no such life form has ever been found, and till we do find this missing link, we cannot prove for certain that man comes from the apes. Well, now at last I'm going to get that proof. I'm going to search Borneo until I find the missing link's remains. When I arrived at the museum, my fellow archaeologists were waiting. Then, you're sure it's on Borneo, Scotty? You men coming with me? I'm with you, Scotty. I wouldn't miss this on a bet. It could be the hottest discovery of our age. So filled with excitement, my colleagues and I left the States. We flew across the Pacific, and the following day came down on the hot, humid, and dangerous island known as Borneo. We'll start with the coast and work our way inland. For the first few days, we found nothing. Then, as we moved into the interior, there were rumors, vague whispers, until finally, the chief says, you will find the creature you seek in the mountain country. He is worshipped there as a god by the headhunters. Worshipped as a god? Do you mean he's actually alive? Yes, Sahib, he is alive. But that's impossible. The missing link became extinct ages ago. Perhaps not. Remember, this is a primitive isle, still mostly unexplored. Here, anything is possible. Anything. Our native guides refused to enter the headhunter country, but for us, there could be no question of turning back. No matter what the dangers, if the missing link still lives, we must capture him and bring him back to civilization. If he lives, there's no telling how dangerous he may be. I pray that we aren't tackling something too big for us to cope with. We moved on deeper into the interior until at last we came to the perilous mountain region. The map calls this Midnight Mountain. Look, up near the top, there's some sort of wall. Uh-oh, here comes trouble. Without warning, they attacked us. They were headhunters, and their arrows were poisoned. The slightest wound to any of us would have been fatal. Head for the wall, quick! The white men flee to Gorgilla. Gorgilla, the god of vengeance, will destroy them. Hurry, climb over. I'll hold the natives off. Bam! When the last man was over. Well, here goes nothing. Nice going, Scotty. We're safe, at least for the time being. I'm not so sure. Those headhunters kept referring to their god of vengeance, Gorgilla. Strange, everything here is so lush and primitive. The way the earth must have been 1,000,000 years ago. Yes, it gives you a weird feeling. Look out! What? It came from up there. From that. And then we saw it. The awesome, unbelievable sight of a monster. Half man and half ape. A moment later, we no longer worried about capturing Gorgilla, for he had now become the hunter and we were his prey. It's him, the missing link. He's Gorgilla. Then he really lives. He really lives. Yes, but he's the size of a house. We'll never be able to capture him. The bullets can't stop him. They can't penetrate his hide. Run for it. It's our only chance. In blind panic, we fled. One of us made the mistake of scaling a tree for safety. Look, he's ripping the trunk right out of the ground. Jump, Frank, jump! Scotty, what are you doing? Come back here. You haven't a chance against Gorgilla. The expedition was all my idea. I can't let Frank get hurt. I just can't. As I ran, I grabbed some bushes. I lit them. And then, if I can only attract his attention away from Frank. Even Gorgilla's thick hide wasn't impervious to pain. He turned with a start. He saw me, and then... Arrgh! That's right. I'm the one who hurt you. I did it with this. Now, see if you can catch me. I dropped the torch and ran, with Gorgilla in hot pursuit. It worked! I drew him away from Frank. Quick, maybe we can climb to safety in those caves. But suddenly we stopped dead in our tracks, for there poised menacingly between the caves and us was a creature not seen on Earth for 1,000,000 years. It's unbelievable. A tyrannosaur. We're trapped. On one side there's Gorgilla, and on the other, the most ferocious dinosaur that ever walked the Earth. It was no use running. We couldn't escape. We just stood there, fearfully watching his prehistoric monsters come closer and closer to us. Gorgilla was the first to reach us, but when he did, he didn't strike. He merely watched us, and then he looked at the approaching tyrannosaur. It was as though he were trying to make a decision. What's he waiting for? Why doesn't he attack? Something stopped him. Something's holding him back. And then suddenly Gorgilla struck, but not at us. Of course, that's it. Some instinct, some sixth sense must have told Gorgilla that we are related, though separated by millions of years of heredity. He is more man than beast, so he attacks our common foe. And there, on that mountain, which time forgot, we watched the earth-shaking struggle of the two nightmare creatures. And when the awesome combat was done, Gorgilla's won. He's destroyed the tyrannosaur. Yes, but look how tired and weak the ape man is. I'll bet we could capture him now. He wouldn't have the strength to resist us. We could capture him, but we won't. He saved our lives. We owe it to him to let him remain here in peace. I agree with you, Scotty. This is his world, and he's earned the right to stay in it. I'll buy that. Me too. That night, under cover of darkness, we made our way past the headhunters back to the coast of the island, and the next day, we took off from Borneo. Our expedition was over. We'll never see him again, but somehow I feel Gorgilla knows. He understands why we let him remain on Midnight Mountain. And somewhere in the wilds of Borneo, in a hidden jungle, Gorgilla still lives. Gorgilla, part man, part beast, the strangest creature of all time. Gorgilla, the missing link. The end. Join me again next time for another story on Eric's Story Time.